Guys, it is finally time that we review the Toyota GR Corolla. Spent the last week with this thing, giving it the sauce, and in today's review, we're going to take a look at the exterior, interior. We're going to launch this thing, see just how quick it is, and we're going to be giving it the sauce around the twisties. Jacob, are you excited?
Why didn't I get it for the week?
If you guys want to read a full in-depth article about the GR Corolla, head to our website, carsource.com. We've got our full review up there. It'll give you some extra insights. And if you want to save money on financing, get the best financing deals, pre-approved in under 2 minutes with no impact to your credit score, and a $150 fuel card for every settled loan, head to carsource.com/finance. Both of those things are linked down below. We will help you get the absolute best financing deals. Jacob?
Bloody oath.
Let's get into it. Man, I can't get over how this thing looks. What do you think?
It looks aggressive.
It looks so aggressive. Now, this thing is the GTS. That's its spec. There's also going to be a special edition, and it's called, Jacob?
The Marizza.
Yes. Why it sounds Italian? I'm sure there's a good reason.
It's probably Japanese.
I don't really understand. That's probably true. In all seriousness, we get one spec here in Australia, and we'll go through what you get with that, but as part of that, you get all the internal components that you want. So this thing here will set you back about 62,000 Australian dollars before on-road costs. So yes, that is quite a bit of money, but it's still cheaper than a Golf R. The biggest issue is that they're only releasing 700 of these things, man, over a 2-year period.
It's just not fair.
To the Australian market, so I don't know, good luck getting one. But hey, at least I've got to driven one, right?
That's all that matters. Matthew.
Yeah.
Matthew's feelings.
Now you might think this thing looks a bit like a Corolla, but it doesn't really look like a Corolla, and you'd be right on both of those things. That's because yes, this does share a lot of parts with a Corolla, but it's actually built in an entirely separate factory, and the entire building process is 10 times longer than a standard Corolla, and that's because you have more adhesive, you have more welds. Look at it, it's wider. Dimensionally, it's actually very different, which I think is pretty interesting, man.
It's probably got a lot more sauce as well.
Probably, but we'll come back to that. Let's talk about the exterior. So yes, you get a wider fender here, and it's all around the car. We'll come to that. Check out these lights here. They are straight off a Corolla.
Literally.
It could be a $20,000 Corolla, or it could be a $60,000 one. It's the same. You've got some functional aero here that helps streamline air across the side and help cool the brakes. They're GR brakes too, mate.
Ooh.
Yeah, Gazoo Racing, by the way. Look at this grille. It is very big. You've got heaps of air intakes there. Here's what I like. The Toyota badge.
You like that?
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. In our camera anyway. I don't know, it looks normal in daytime, but hey, at least in our camera, it looks cool. GR badge there, as I said, that stands for Gazoo Racing. That is Toyota's performance division. And what else makes this thing look a bit boy racery, friend?
Maybe the hood vents?
Oh, what? Oh, you mean these huge things? They are functional aero as well, because this engine here, it's the same 1.5 litre that you'll find in a GR Yaris, a 3-cylinder, but it pumps out more power. I'll give you a hint, 221 kilowatt, and that is because of all these internal changes. Pretty cool. Okay, so coming to the side, you're gonna notice these. These are 18-inch forged alloy wheels. I think they look awesome, man. What do you think?
Very, very racy.
They are unfortunately wrapped in Yokohama Advan Apex tires, man.
They're no Michelin Pilot Sports.
They're no Michelin Pilot Sports that you get in other markets, but apparently Australia spec'd it like this because people are going to change their tires anyway. I think that's a bit of a cop-out, Toyota, but hey, you do you, boo. It will mean that even though this thing is all-wheel drive, it does wheel slip a bit, and you'll see that when we launch this thing. You've got some functional aero here with GR badge there as well. Blacked out mirror caps. You've got keyless entry and go. That's nice. You've also got these color-matched wider side skirts that say GR-FOUR on them. That is the name of the Corolla's all-wheel drive, which is really trick, but not as trick as you might think. You've also got some privacy glass there too, and look how wide these fenders are, man. So cool.
Very fendery.
Especially from this 3/4 angle, I think it's so mean looking. Let's check out the bum. Okay, so coming to the rear now, Jacob. We don't get a spoiler here, unfortunately, on this Australian spec. We also don't get the carbon fiber roof, so this thing is very bright. It looks awesome in person, but on camera, it might appear to be very bright, unfortunately. That's just a camera thing. You get the classic Corolla lights here. And in fact, from here upwards, man, I think it looks exactly like a Corolla. You hide the bottom, and it looks like a Corolla.
From the waist up.
From the waist up. This rear window though is really, really tinted. No one's gonna be seeing you back there. Here you've got your GR Corolla badge. You've got your Toyota badge there as well. You've also got your reverse camera. It's a decent camera, nothing too special. Down here is your diffuser, and you're gonna notice 3 exhausts, friend.
Wow, you can count to 3?
That's rude. Let me tell you a story. This GR Corolla has more power than a GR Yaris. There are some slightly different internals, like the camshafts are a little bit different. It's also got a higher state of tune for the boost. This thing has 26.3 PSI for its turbo. That is mind-blowing. Huge.
It's like stage 2 numbers.
Legitimately. So what happened was this was actually supposed to have these 2 exhausts on the outside, but they had to add the 3rd exhaust because there was so much back pressure in the exhaust system, it couldn't handle it. So that's why you get 3. To be honest, I think it looks really cool.
Very, very cool.
And if you want to see our comparison between this and the i30N, my favorite hot hatch,
It's actually right behind you.
oh, there you go. But click up on the screen right now and it will take you to our comparison we released a couple of days ago. Look, man, overall, I think that this thing is a really good looking car.
Definitely its best angle is that rear 3/4.
So cool, so wide, so mean. I love it. Let's check out the interior. Alrighty, Jacob, coming inside the GR Corolla, what do you reckon?
It's actually quite nice.
It's really nice. Look, you get what you pay for. You're still paying quite a lot of money, but you do get all these soft touch materials dotted around the interior. Really important because that helps quiet the road noise on the inside. I will say though, Jacob, because this is a 3-cylinder, they are inherently off balance. So if you have this car at low RPM, anything really below 1500, the whole interior starts to vibrate. So just keep that in mind. Can't really do anything about it. It's a little bit annoying. Here's some other things that are a bit annoying. You've got this piano black plastic dotted around and it just smudges and it's already really dusty, and this car is brand spanking new. It is also on these climate controls, but these climate controls do work really well.
Very nice.
Yeah, really like them. Nice digi-analog setup. You've also got some more piano black plastic on the doors there too. A couple of other things I don't really like. I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with these seats. I mean, they look really good. They also feel great. They've got like this Alcantara-like suede. You've also got some faux leather. They're also heated, which is awesome. They are manually adjusting. That's not the reason I'm not in love with them. And I do like this GR badge up at the top. What I don't like is that there's no adjustable lumbar support, and you can kind of feel it. I'm not gonna lie, we've driven this thing quite a lot over the last week, and especially today where we've driven it for like 3 or 4 hours in a row. Look, you can kind of feel it.
My back is a little sore.
But I'm not going to complain too much because they look great and mostly they're fine. Now, this is technically the facelifted Corolla that's just come out, and we will review that soon. But this screen is like a base model screen. It's really, really small. It's not the new 10.25-inch screen you get. I mean, it's actually quite responsive. They've updated the CPU. You do have inbuilt navigation, and that's all really responsive, and wireless Apple CarPlay, but wired Android Auto, which is a little bit of a shame. It's just the size of it. It's definitely not class leading. And final negative is storage spaces. So the glove box is actually a pretty decent size. The door bins are fine, but you don't get any sort of center armrest. And my suspicion for that is that it makes it easier to shift, because if you had something there, you're definitely gonna whack your arm on it. Oh no, Jacob. They've delivered the shifter upside down.
Oh, because they know we're in Australia.
Exactly. Just turn that one back around.
Oh, thanks for fixing that up,
I
man.
think that was a funny joke. We'll come back to that shifter though. So in its place, you get this little rubberized area. It can't fit an iPhone in there, so that's a bit of a shame. You've also got a 12-volt socket and a USB-C port there, which you can share with backseat passengers. So I guess that's a plus. Now, let's get on to what I love. This handbrake. It feels so nice.
You did move a little bit there. It was kind of scary.
Everything scares you. You have a 6-speed manual transmission here. At the moment, it only comes with a 6-speed. Strong rumors though that we're going to be getting an automatic, so that's cool. Look, it feels pretty awesome, not gonna lie.
It's a great little manual.
Great little manual. You've also got your GR-4 controller here. That's your all-wheel drive system. You can change it between 60-40 split to the front, a 70-30 split to the rear, and a 50-50 split. So 50% of power to the front and rear, but it's not quite that simple or good. We will come back to that in the driving section. You do have your drive mode selector here as well, which you don't get in a GR Yaris. Up front, you do have a wireless charger for your phone, which is great if you've got an iPhone. Not that great if you've got an Android. And two of the biggest highlights for me, one is this steering wheel. It feels so nice to hold onto. Really soft leather, but it's like the perfect size. And you've got buttons to control absolutely everything, including some of your safety technology here. And by the way, if you want to learn more about all of the safety tech and really everything else about this car, head to carsource.com. That article is live now.
I actually think I'd prefer the smaller infotainment screen on this car rather than the big one.
Why?
I just think if you're going to be getting a car to drive, you don't need a massive laptop screen in your way. And I actually think most of the people that would buy this car would agree with that.
Interesting. Let us know in the comment section. What do you think? Do you agree with me or do you agree with Jacob? What do you think about this tech then, Jacob? Up in front of you, you get a new digital instrument cluster. This thing, to me, is awesome. You got this really cool tachometer in the center, and when you change it to sport mode, it goes into this track tachometer. I think it's awesome.
It's very cool.
Very cool. And the shift lights there work awesome. You'll see that when we take this thing for a drive. It's also quite customizable. You can change things on the left, on the right, and in the center. So no complaints from me.
And I like the heads-up display as well.
Heads-up display is very cool. Not the best out there, but it works pretty well.
And the JBL speakers are pretty good too.
Oh, mentioning everything I've forgotten, yes, they are awesome. Some of the best speakers I've heard in such a small car. It's kind of mind-blowing. All right, let's check out the back seats. Look, if I'm being totally honest, the back seat really isn't the best, man. You don't get much leg room. You don't get much toe room. Headroom is pretty good, but at 5'11", I whack that pretty easily. Look, the seats back here are really nice. They're very supportive and comfortable. You do have your armrest here with a couple of cup holders. You do get mat pockets. That's nice, but you know, quality, like every other car in the segment, takes a hit in the back. You do have some soft touch materials there. You've also got a cup holder, but no like door bin. And unfortunately, there's no air vents back here. And like I said, you have to share these ports up front. But otherwise, I mean, it's probably your kids or your mates in the back. Not a big deal, is it?
Yeah, it's clearly a driver's car.
Clearly. Let's talk about the boot. Okay, so let's check out the practicality, because frankly, that is the worst part of the Corolla hatch, but it's the same on every other Corolla hatch. Being the GR Corolla, you actually get 4 litres less, Jacob, 213 litres of boot space. It's not very much at all, and I mean that quite seriously. We took out like what looked like to be about a third full from the i30N. We put it into the GR Corolla and it was completely full. So
Very true.
That's about right. Under here, you do have a little bit of storage where you can hide some things. You've also got some storage to the sides. Yes, you can put down these back seats. It's really easy to do so. And then you get a pretty good flat loading area as well. That is quite a lot of space. So look, if you're a full family, probably not the way to go. But if you're a couple or maybe a throuple, if you deal that way, you'll get heaps of space.
You're a weirdo.
I'm a bit of a weirdo. Let's talk about the engine. Okay, so coming to the engine, this is actually a pretty big engine for a 3-cylinder, but it's still very small. 1.6 litre turbo petrol engine. It is one of the most powerful production 3-cylinders ever made. This one here pumps out 220 kilowatt of power. That is huge numbers for a 3-cylinder.
I just can't get over that.
Like, I almost don't believe it, but 370 newton meters of torque. And being a 3-cylinder, it has its own really unique characteristics where torque doesn't come in at like 2,000 RPM, like a 4-cylinder comes in at about 3,000. So you've actually got to rev this thing out kind of like a naturally aspirated engine. You'll see when we take this thing for a drive. Now, all of that power is sent through a 6-speed manual transmission. There isn't an automatic, though there are rumors that that will be coming. And of course, all of that power is sent to all wheels. This is an all-wheel drive, but it's not quite that simple. We'll get into it more, but essentially this thing is front-wheel drive bias and can send that power to the back through its twin-clutch all-wheel drive system, but only under ideal conditions, and there's no coolers on the back, so it doesn't do it all the time. Here's something though that I think is really cool, man. These little things here help guide air to exhaust it out of these top vents. Just a really cool feature, I think.
Very cool.
All right, Jacob, should we launch it?
Let's do it.
Okay, so to launch this thing, we're going to put the car into sport mode. We're going to put the all-wheel drive system into track mode, which is a 50-50 split for the all-wheel drive system, kind of. We'll come back to that. And we're also going to turn off traction control because otherwise this thing just loves to bog down. I love how it says expert in there.
We are now in expert mode.
We're in
apparently.
expert mode. All right, friend, fist me.
Let's do this.
Come on, come on, come on.
Pretty good.
Oh! 0 to 100 in 5.88 seconds. You know why that's really good?
That is really good.
Because we have our camera gear in the back and both of us in here. That's like another 200 kilos.
Oh my God.
Not quite. All right, let's drive this thing normally. Alrighty, friend, driving the Toyota GR Corolla. Bubbity boop. Oh! Oh!
That is so sick, man. I love this thing, man.
I love this thing. Now, I gotta be honest, the 3-cylinder has a very different characteristic to, for example, my long-termer i30N. That thing kind of pulls from a lower torque range, so this thing's peak torque is at 3,000 RPM, that thing is at 2,000 RPM, but it means that you really just have to wring the neck out of this. And we can put the car into sport mode. Didn't have these kind of driving modes when we were in the
Yaris. GR Yaris.
The GR Yaris. Downshift.
Yaris.
Oh, by the way, IMT, intelligent manual transmission.
Ooh, rev matching.
Rev matching.
I love that. That was not a rev match.
That was me. I didn't want to just drop the clutch, to be honest.
God.
Holy moly, man.
Oh.
Okay. Now, of course, we only get the Torsen limited slip differentials front and rear. Dude, it's like this thing is on rails.
Literally.
The mechanical grip of this car is like second to none. Holy moly moly.
This thing feels more planted than the WRX I did.
Wow. And that's pretty huge, man.
Yeah, that's a proper all-wheel drive.
That's a WRX.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the all-wheel drive for a second, because this isn't what you think. So yes, we have our little selector here and we can change between our different driving modes. We can go between GR4, which says 60% to the front, 40% to the rear. We can do 70% to the rear, or we can do track, which is 50-50. The thing you have to remember about this, guys, is it's not a true permanent all-wheel drive. It is still front-wheel drive bias, and the electronics that this system uses will only engage the twin clutches in the back if it can under ideal conditions. So we're not gonna just be able to power oversteer everywhere, even as we go around here.
Even as much as we'd love to.
As much as we'd love to, it doesn't work like that. So when people say, oh, you know, you're in 30-70, 70% goes to the rear, only under ideal conditions, guys.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter, man.
Oh man, it's a rear-wheel drive with terms and conditions.
It's a rear-wheel drive with terms and conditions.
Oh
yeah,
Oh,
baby.
this is so good though.
See, there's a bit of understeer there.
And that's when it kicks it into the rear wheels. Oh yeah.
Oh.
I will say there is a little bit of body roll, but I don't exactly mind it.
No, it's weird, right? This thing only has one setting for the suspension. It's fixed dampers, but I think it's a really good tune, and often they can get the one tune right better. Same with the steering, actually. This only has one tune for the steering, even though it has driving modes, but again, it doesn't matter because they've done such a great job with it. It's like the perfect weighting, man.
Very well weighted. It's kind of like, it reminds me of the MX-5 a bit. Oh man.
I'm sorry, I'm just throwing you around the seats. Okay.
So sick.
Okay.
And we're already at Saucy Corner.
Let's do this for the second time. Tickle my pickle.
You ready for 1G?
Let's drop.
Sideways. Oh! That was not your finest launch?
No, it didn't like that. Oh, man, this
Oh my
3-cylinder just pulls so hard. Second, come on, baby. Yeah, definitely not oversteering, that's for sure.
No, far from it.
And then up the second, which is, oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, there we go. Bit of oversteer
Back
there.
end came around, but it wasn't really power oversteer because my foot was completely off the accelerator at that point.
Yeah. Look, if we went on the road, I would have said maybe pump the handbrake a little bit around there.
Yeah, true. Thankfully, it does have a mechanical handbrake, guys. Dude,
This car is sick.
car is sick.
Yeah.
Toyota, you have done a magnificent job. It is a shame that only 700 of these are going to come to Australia.
Can you please send us some more?
Give Australians what they need.
Give us like 7,000. I don't know. We'll buy them. Oh.
Can I just say, I love revving this thing out. I love it. All right, man, let's get into our final thoughts.
Let's do it.
Okay, so final thoughts on the all-new Corolla GR, or GR Corolla. Jacob, what do you think?
This thing is so sick. It's so much fun to drive.
So so cool.
It's my final thoughts, bro.
Oh, sorry, please.
I'm done.
What Jacob said, I totally ditto. Yes, there are a few compromises that you get with this thing, but overall, it's one of the coolest hot hatches I think I have ever driven. I think it really keeps the name of a hot hatch, which is really cool, really powerful, but kind of does everything and can take a small family, if that. I love it. Let me know what you guys think though down in the comment section just below that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We'd love to have you around. Click over there to watch our comparison between the i30N and the GR Corolla.
Please do.
And if you guys want a really cheap hot hatch that's really cool and is almost gone, click over there to watch our Ford Fiesta ST review. That thing was sick. And if you need finance, click over there too. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.